Hello, people. Hi, this is Dr. Darnese. And well, let me just say, first of all, that it's been a long time since I've really plugged into this channel, but I want to thank you for showing up, watching the video, coming back. You'll see that there's some changes here. And I'm calling this Dr. Darnese's Writing Salon because I really want to use this platform to talk about my writing journey and invite other people who are all about that writing life, that literary life, or even I want to extend it and say to people who are creatives and maybe have put it aside for a while, but you know in your heart that that's really what you want to do. You really are creative, and so you might just be a good chef or home cook, painter, like whatever is your thing, your creative thing. I invite you in. I'm a writer. And so for me, it's always a bit of a challenge to find time to write and really devote to writing because I'm also a college professor. I'm also a life coach, a writing coach, helping people finish their dissertations. So there's a lot of different ways that I show up in the world, but essentially, I'm a creative. And I am, let me see. Just gonna try to get better lighting in here, but I guess that's it. And I'm also, somebody who pays attention to spirituality and how that informs my creative process. So some of the videos that you'll see on here are about mindset, inspiration, spirituality, because I think that's how we create. It's like I call it the download. I get a download and it inspires me to write. So some of the stuff will be about that. Anyway, I want to also say that this for me, this has recently come to me to focus on my writing through my spirituality, through my dream life, um, through my own inner something or another that's telling me, you know what, get back to writing as the primary thing. Keep the main thing, because I am so busy with so many other kinds of activities that I can start putting the writing on the back burner. Many of you may know what I'm talking about because you have a full time job, you have children, or you have whatever else that means that you split your time. Anyway, I mean, I've written books. Let me just be clear. I am a published author already. And actually, I see my book on the bookshelf right behind me. I didn't even do that on purpose, y'all, but do you see? That's funny. Right there is my book 40 something. So I'm published as an academic in my field. I'm a religion professor. So I'm published as a PhD and an academic, and that book is called Beyond Christianity. I'm also, and I've published in a number of academic journals and book chapters, and I edited a volume of work. So there's that aspect where I publish academically. That feels more like actual work. I also am self published in non academic work. So that book is called 40 something 10 Radical Lessons for Women on How to Live and Love Without Losing Themselves. And I'll talk more about that as we go in another video. But this is just to say that I am making an intentional effort to work on my writing, work on the stuff that I really want to write. In addition to the other stuff I have to do. It's not like I'm, can give up my other work. And I like being a professor. I like teaching. But I realize that when we're creative people, that can easily get on the back burner because of the pressures of life. This channel and this video is about how to get back to that, or how I got back to that, and inviting you to think about how you can get back to making your creative main thing your main thing. So for me, I think I've just come to a point in life where I'm like, what am I waiting for? Like that book 40 something, that took me all of my 40s to write. I didn't realize it was going to take me all of my 40s to write, but it is about that decade where we, particularly as women, come to some sort of wake up call where it's like, okay, I've done all these things I'm supposed to do. I've done a bunch of stuff for other people, especially if you have children. Um, when is it going to be my turn? Or you're at a crossroads because things have shifted dramatically. Maybe your kids have gone off to college. Maybe you're getting a divorce or something. Maybe you're just as a family downsizing because kids have left. But whatever it is, there's some either crisis or opportunity where you are like, now it's time for me to think about myself. So that was 40 something. And as I said, it took me my entire 40s to write it. Right around 48, 49, I was like, wow, I really feel like I should have been finished with this so I could, kind of market it as a 40 something woman who's still 40 something. Well, no, the divine, the universe had other plans for me, which is kind of funny. It's like God's practical joke on me to say, oh, you thought it was complete. It was really complete when I first turned 50. I was like, yeah, I really have. Now 40 something is complete. And so it was complete. But the process of 40 something really helped me say the most important thing in life is to be authentic, is to be yourself and to do what is your calling in life. And so having written it, having lived it in order to write it, because a lot of it is my personal story, a lot of it is memoir, in addition to giving, helpful advice to other women. And going through all of that, I came to realize you got to, this is the next stage of it for you, for me. There's a lot that I did in my 40s. Okay, but now, my early 50s, what does it look like now? Okay, so so now it's like, okay, well, what it looks like now is this. Focus on the thing that you love most. Most. What is that? I've always been a writer. As a little kid, I was a writer. I love to read. I love to write. My grandmother would buy me, spiral notebooks because I would be writing on it, asking her for paper all the time. And she had those yellow notepads, legal pads. And she needed those for herself, but I would take them and write. So she would get me my own notebooks. And this was as a really, young child. And I would just fill up these spiral notebooks, writing stories. So I was always a writer. And then, as you grow up and you have to get a job and do all these things, I still was a writer. And, it's part of my vocation as a professor to write. But there's part of me that needs to write fiction, needs to write nonfiction, but not academic. And I really want to do that. So part of me doing this in terms of creating this channel is a way for me to stay on track myself and to invite other people to come in and say, this is our salon, this is our place where we as creatives can get together and encourage one another, to really give each other inspiration. So that's why some of the videos here on this channel will be about inspiration, divine inspiration, spirituality, the things that, help us get out of a rut if we're in a rut, or plug in and say, yeah, this is who I am. And this is what I'm going to do right now. Even though it might be challenging, and other people might not understand, like, what do you mean you're painting? What do you mean you're writing? You're spending more time on yourself. You're spending more time doing what you've decided is important, which is the main thing. Spend time doing what you think is important because this is your life, right? So Dr. Darnice's Writing Salon is about doing the thing that compels you, that gives you joy. Whether or not anybody else understands or whether you make money doing it or not is kind of beside the point. Of course, we want to be able to make money doing the thing that we love the most, but money is not the thing that is the main thing, because it's like it's within us, right? It's something that is compelling in and of itself, right? I have to write. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about how how I'm making the main thing again for me. Writing is my main thing. And I guess if I have to be honest, then teaching is secondary to writing. But my life has been such where teaching has been primary and writing has been secondary. So I'd like to shift that a bit, right? Just shift it, not entirely throw that away, but just shift the balance. And so here's the writing salon. Here's how I want to spend my time. And I think that's really it for this particular video. And since I'm kind of just starting with it, I would really appreciate, liking and subscribing to my channel so that I know that there are people out here who also want to write or do their creative thing and want a place where that's welcome, especially for those of us who are Gen X, Generation X. There's a lot of videos out here called, under the genre author tube, and those are younger people. No harm in that, but I don't really see where we have people who are, let's say, over 45, over 50 talking about it. Like, what happens or how is it different when you are, I hate to use the term middle aged or more. You could be a baby boomer coming back around to yourself, coming back around to who you really are. You've worked in the salt mines long enough, so to speak, and you want to get back to something that you love. So I also want to create a space that's helpful for those of us who are 40 and 50 something and beyond. So Gen X, I'm a Gen X person, but whatever your age group is here, because I think if I had to give some advice to younger people, which I do because I am on a college campus, um, you may as well do the thing you love, even though it's hard. And if you're 20 something or 30 something, it can be hard because you feel like I've got to, make my way. And I'll just say the wisdom that I can give you is really try to make your way doing the thing that you love, because you just find out later in life, like, God, I've spent so much time working at things that I don't really love. I was chasing a paycheck, chasing what I thought would give me security, and it doesn't. There's no inner fulfillment to that. Maybe you have the security, maybe you have a great paycheck and a great house and all those things, but how do you feel on the inside? So if you're 20 something, 30 something, and you're like, well, I have to do this. Well, that's what I thought too. And to some degree, it's true. I mean, you've got to make your way in the world, you've got to take care of yourself. But you may as well try to make that around, shape that around what you love. Like, try to make it work doing what you love. Or else you join us later in our 40s and 50s, like, now how can I get back to what it is that I really love to do? Anyway, here's the space for that. This is Dr. Darnice's Writing Salon, and I hope that you will subscribe. I hope you will join me on my journey. I'd love to know about your journey in the comments. And I'm going to wrap it up for now. So, all right, bye for now.